Hello everyone. So today I am going to discuss this problem. Check if there is a valid partition for the array. This problem has come in weekly contest 305, and this is the third question of that contest. So the let's see the what the question says. The question says that we have a zero indexed integer array which is nums. Okay, and we have to partition the array into one or more contiguous subarrays. Cool. So we call a partition valid if the subarray satisfies one of the following conditions, which is these three conditions. It has exactly two equal elements, okay, or it has exactly three equal elements, or it has exactly three consecutive increasing elements. We have to return true if the array has at least one valid partition, means that if we can partition the array in such a way that each subarray of those partitions, right? So each of those partitions follow one of these three conditions. Then we have to return true, or else we have to return false. Let's first think how we can approach this problem, right? So we have basically three conditions, and we have to satisfy any of these three conditions, right? So let's say that let's just say that this is the array, okay, which has some elements. So we can partition in two ways, right? If I'm starting from 0, let's say, so either I can take these two elements, right, these 0 and 1 elements, and in which case we can take these two elements when this element is equal to this element, right, which will satisfy the first condition here, that it has exactly two equal elements. So if I can say that if array of 0 is equal to array of 1, right, then it satisfies the first condition, right? And then what I can see is that if this part of array or this subarray or suffix satisfies any of the this part of subarray can be partitioned into some valid partitions, right? If this is true, then I can say that for this whole array that will also be true, right? So it seems like this may go into, like, we can use recursion in this case. So this is one case. The second case is that all the three elements are equal. So you can similarly extend this to three elements as well, right? 0, 1 and 2, right? If all these three elements are equal, then what we can do is we can check for this part of subarray from 3 to n minus 1. Similarly, if this is increasing, right? So if array of 0 is equal to array of 1 minus 1 is equal to array of 2 minus 2, right? If this is true, then from array of 3 to n we have to find the same thing again, right? So what we can do is we can think of recursion, and what we'll do is, so let's say we have a starting of the array, and we'll check in these three conditions, right? We'll check these three conditions, and for each of these conditions we'll check that if the condition satisfies, any of these conditions satisfies, then the corresponding suffix array, if that array is satisfying, like that array can be divided into partitions or not, right? So it is like a smaller sub problem. So okay, so now the thing is that what will happen is, so we can take any partition here, like we can take 2. So what will be the recursion tree in this case, right? If I draw the recursion tree, so it may happen that I am taking the first two elements, right? So I am starting at the index 0. Then if I take the first two elements, then I will go to index 2. If I take the first three elements, then I'll go to index 3 in the next iteration. If I take here 2, then I have two options again. One is to go to 4 if I am taking the two elements, right? If I am taking 3 elements, then I will go to 5. Similarly, from 3 I can take 2 elements, so 2 will be equal, so I will go to 5 again, and I will take 3 elements and I will go to 6. For 4 I can go to 6, By taking 2 elements, by taking 3 elements, I will go to 7. Here by taking 2 elements, I will go to 5. Here I go, sorry, this is 5, right? Okay, by 2 elements, I will go to 7. My bad. And by taking 3 elements, I will go to 8. Similarly, from this 5, I can go to 8, or I can go to 7, right? By 3 or 2. And from 6 also, I can go to 8, and I can go to 6 plus 3, 9, right? I will go to these indexes. So these are the indexes. So now you can see here that there are some repetitions. 6 is here, so I have the 6th index. I think here also I have in the 6th index, right? Similarly for 7, there is 7, there is another 7, here is another 7, right? For 8 also there are 3 8s. So I am going to calculate for a particular index, right? So for, let's say, 7. So from 7 to n, for this sub array of the given array, I am going to calculate 3 times, right? So I am doing repetitive calculation. So obviously we know that if in recursion, if we have recursion plus repetitive calculation, so what we can do is we can use memoization, right? Memoization or DP. So in memoization, what we can do, let's first discuss memoization, right? So in recursion, what we will do, right? In recursion, so we will have the array, we will have the index, okay, and then inside the function we will check any of these conditions, that if array of this index is equal to array of I plus 1, right? If this condition satisfies, then we will call for array comma I plus 3, right? Similarly, for if the other condition satisfies, then I will call for I plus 4, right? I am calling this repetitively. So what we can do is we can keep another DP array. Now as you can see that this function only depends on the index of the array, so I can keep a DP array of size n, right, where n is the array size, correct? So DP of I will store is, DP of I will store that if the subarray or the suffix array from I to n, right? So if the suffix array from I to n of array, if this result is true or not. So for this subarray, if we can make some varied partitions or not, so that will store true or false, right? And so similarly, in memoization, what we can do is whenever we will reach an index, we will first check that if for that index the answer is already calculated or not. If it is calculated, then return true. If it is calculated, then return the calculated results. If not calculated, then calculate it. So we will calculate for each index only once, right? So what we can do is we can take an integer array of DP, right, where DP of I will be initialized to -1, which means that we have not calculated for this index. If we have calculated and we have get false, then DP of I will be updated to 0. If we have get true, then it will be updated to 1, right? So that is the memoization case, and because we are going all the indexes only once, so the time complexity will be order of n. We can reduce this memoization to DP, right? So here you can see I am just giving you the code. I think that will be much easier. So what I am doing is I have taken an array of size n plus 1, right, where I have initialized DP of n as true, because I am at the end of the end of the array, right? So I have an empty subarray. So empty subarray is obviously true. Then I will start from n minus 2. Why n minus 2? Because you can see here that I need at least 2 elements to make a subarray good. So there is no point in starting from n minus 1. So I have started from n minus 2, and I am checking all the conditions one by one. So I am checking if numPsi is equal to numI plus 1. If it is true, and DP of I plus 2. So I have satisfied the condition for I and I plus 1. So I need to check if from I plus 2 to n the condition satisfies or not. So I am just checking DP I plus 2 if true or not. If true, then I am just updating DP I as true. Similarly, the other cases are done. So you can see a numPsi is equal to numPsi plus 1, and numPsi plus 1 is equal to numPsi plus 2, and DP I plus 3 is true. And I am also considering the case that I plus 3 is less than equal to n, obviously. If that is true, then DPI is true. Similarly for I plus 3 less than equal to n, and the third case, which is the increasing case, right? So num psi plus 1 is equal to num psi plus 1, and num psi plus 1 plus 1 is equal to num psi plus 2 means the increasing case, and dpi plus 3 is true. Then dpi is obviously true. If that is not the case, then dpi is false. And then at the end, what do you need to return? You return dp0, because dpi, what it stores? It stores that if from I to n the subarray, or the from I to n the suffix array, I can divide it into multiple valid partitions or not. So dpi0, what will return from 0 to n, right? Obviously. So dp0 contains the answer for the whole array. So I think that is the solution. So yeah, it's just recursion, and you will find repetition. So recursion, and then you will move to dp. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video.